Welcome to another episode on our channel. The the neat thing about becoming a Star Wars fan is that there are cheaper figures out there on Star Wars and you can do updates on them quite easily. So this is a Sideshow figure, and the neat thing about Sideshow figures, at least with Star Wars, is that they were made some time ago. So uh, the prices are really great. Some are more expensive than others, but you can get them as low as $25 and $50, and then it can go up to even higher prices than that. But that's not bad for a figure with an outfit that's complete, lightsaber, that sort of thing. I'm not sure about the stand. I mean, it does have texture. I can feel it and rises here and there. I actually think it looks like a pancake, and my husband thinks it looks like a cookie. And I can see that it could look like one or the other. The bad thing is that it has this texture, but there's just no way to recognize the definition unless you put a black wash on it. And I think that would really make things pop a lot better. I was just thinking, instead of eBay, what would be so neat to have is a place to do bartering. You know, you have something I want and you don't want it anymore. And I have something you want and I don't want it anymore. And it's fairly equal in both our eyes. Boom, trade. Don't have to worry about taxes because we've already been taxed for these things. It's bartering. The only thing we have to worry about is shipping and handling. You know, send it as in the most economical way to each other. If there was something like eBay that had safeguards built into it, that would be so awesome. Someone out there, I hope you have enough money to kind of think about that, create that for them, because I know I would flock to it. There are some things I wouldn't mind letting go of. And there are some things I wouldn't mind getting a hold of. If I could find that sweet spot and you could agree with that sweet spot in terms of a trade, I think that would be great. Anyway, regardless, 2 cents. Here is Obi-Wan Kenobi from a distance in not the best matching colors imaginable. Pretty substantial though in terms of clothing overall. It's just when, and you'll see it when we get closer and closer to the head sculpt, you'll see it wouldn't be able to compete in today's market with the head sculpts that are out there right now. So we'll pause now and get some tighter close-ups from here on up. So there's one thing about Sideshow that you might not remember, but I think we've regressed a bit in terms of our figures, our 1/6 scale figures, with at least this engineering here. If you take this hand, you can actually move it all the way over. It just doesn't rotate, only rotate. You can bend it way over because it's built into the wrist that way. It's on a peg, so you can change the hands out. You can rotate it as well. With a ball joint, you can get some rotation, but you can't get this kind of rotation. So I don't know why we got away from that. It's strange. It's going backwards a little bit by going to a ball joint. And the hands stay on pretty darn good with these hands. They're flexible. They're not totally hard. Yeah, I can move that finger back really good. So again, Even though this was made in 2006, it still has features on it that you would say, wow, we should go back to that. And then it has, of course, some things that, like head sculpts, and you'll see with the close up, where we don't want to go back to that. So anyway, let's just go around or side to side, because the robe, and see, well, you will see something. It is really a deep cavity with this hood. I mean, it's, I think, too big. But regardless, that down a little bit more. There we go. He's got a lot of clothing, and he does have his lightsaber. So now we'll pause and see something that we don't want to go back to. The head sculpt. We'll be right back. So this is not what we want to go back to, though, the head sculpt. You can see that there's no differentiation in terms of pigment. And it's very, very glossy. A lot of unbranded heads have much more details now in terms of facial features. So this is not what we want to go back to. The wrists, I think there are advantages with the wrists, but not with the head sculpt. Same figure, different head, Hot Toys head. So Obi-Wan has had has had plastic surgery. Anyway, we'll just go side to side here. You've seen the back. And you really won't be able to see a lot of details until we get closer anyway. It doesn't hurt that I put him in a better pose as well. But he's still on that pancake. Anyway, this actually may be the beauty of going for a sideshow body with all the articles of clothing, perhaps the lightsaber. You're going to save a ton of money. I saw something for $25 the other day. $50. It can go up quite a bit, but the point is it can go down quite a bit. And the body, at least with long robes. Now, I think Sideshow had a tendency, I don't know if they compensated for it later, but they had a tendency to have sleeves or arms that were too long, and sleeves would ride kind of high up on the arm itself. And but these long robes are covering that if they didn't compensate for it in 2006 when this figure was made. But the beauty here, I'm just going to roll this back here. Again, I've said it already, but if you look at the wrist, how it's built into the joint here, you can get quite a bit of pivot here. And then the rotation too. Ball and joint, it's limited. Now, yeah, with the ball and joint, you can kind of, it just doesn't go here and here. It can kind of go a little more to the angle, different angles. But sometimes you're really limited in terms of how much flex you can give it. And these hands are very soft. I mean, I can move the finger way back. I don't have to struggle with this thing. That's the beauty of this thing anyway. So yeah, putting a Hot Toys head on this, I think it looks pretty good. So we'll get a close-up of this head. So here's the Hot Toys head on a Sideshow body. Night and day. And just to further cement that night and day difference, let me put this guy back in for a second. Night and day. All right. So here we are again. I do feel the need to do a little more customizing with him, but the head makes a big difference. The pants for me have to be the same color as the shirt. I don't know about the robe, if it's possible to get this a little bit darker to coincide with the shirt, because it's made out of different material. Trying to match that might be an impossible task. But the one thing I do know I need to do with this guy, even though the boots might be true to the Star Wars movie, I have to get it a little bit darker. So it kind of ties in more with the outfit instead of standing out by itself like the pants are to me. So I have to like how it looks. But the head, oh my gosh, makes a big difference. And you're not spending a fortune. You know, if you spend, like I said, I've seen them go for as low as $25, $50, $60, even higher than that. But if, let's just say $50 and you do the head for $65, you're into it for, you know, not that much, $115 compared to the actual Star Wars figure made by Hot Toys, which is, they're holding their own in terms of prices. Let's just put it that way. So you'll spend quite a bit of money to get the Hot Toys version. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.